everyone. One doing to nature, just constantly. Uh, guys, for 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 the delay in the beginning. It's just me tweeting, maybe a couple of guests. So I have what I'm going to label. Try to put my hand doesn't cast so much. You guys can hardly see anything. Hope you're all having a good. Hope all your creative endeavors are up as you can. Be to table. Me thinking about my old job in catering. Page is the first appeal of 1,000 easy. And link uh, the main one of the main villains of chromosome 96 called E09. And I see three showing all these. Armor is a combination of a neo-Gothic um, uh, and uh, we went through a lot of design. Uh, in the end, it just became a bit of original ink on this because it's mostly done partially. Some of it is hired by those big armors. Is having Warhammer, those Warhammer um, rectify. So be doing the armor, kind of a hat, reminiscent of Portuguese uh, regalia, age of discoveries, which age of expansion, imperialism. Obviously, if it hadn't been for Portugal to take, never. Well, maybe they would, but the same time frame, I never expanded beyond Europe. It was the Portuguese that indeed did the first uh, creating colonies behind, beyond trading posts with the rest, a lot of other regions. So yeah, you can get to Portuguese for the advent of the third age of slavery or whatever. So slavery, modern people don't shine. last thing I want to do historical periods and this channel, which is dedicated to an art channel. This is an art channel where I will this over intro is my Friday night source. We're not a TV channel, so to any TV bosses or any conflicts with sponsors. Nobody sponsors this. Always have been, always will be. Why my services, and I ended up getting yeah, I never had any desire to work for any. And I hurt working for someone else. So I hate working myself. Me, I get I get to keep everything I spend, meaning profit from what I've spent. Yeah, I give up my bloody screen. So yeah, I commercial works in the past. They work for, but he might come in. Uh, I did commercial. Kellogg's actually. Kellogg's a couple of comic strip magazines for juniors. I really can't remember if there used to be magazines like mini comic boxes of cereals. They were, if they were strips and smudged inside other magazines. I don't remember it was released, but whatever it was done back, and the cereals. That's right, but in boxes. So there you go. Working for the yeah, it always works. You always get the best wages, the best quality of life. Not much. So definitely never wear a suit. Where is there? You left me buried in. To burn like I deserve. You're annoying. This has to pop. Line here a bit thicker. Yeah, San is also I done a commercial job for another big company, fishery and guys that do, uh, and they actually do the rackets, the skiing, um, uh, the skis, basically. But better, yeah. I think what was it? 1994? No, it wasn't. I think, and yeah, they must have the equivalent to what? Because it was a stupid number, though. I was so it was a check. They gave me a check, which I kind of presumed, but because the guy obviously of Fisher, pay me for the job, but because he had commissioned it, and he probably called the company. Although at those times, I mean, nobody today will ever, especially at those times, and able through there, obviously with emails and free association, it's a little bit easier actually to kind of one of the companies. Although you're still not able to win a case now. At the time, it was just once you're in and uh, the time I was eventually called tough guys. We called tough guys, but he was actually I had already. I was I remember I redo the whole thing again. Summer '95 at the time, and a youth was doing a catering course, and should have taken more advantage of that summer. Females, so we went to private. On that summer, I heard the period of free time. Well, I had a lot of hard work, but I also had a lot of free time, and instead of having fun, having actually the room was what I was staying. Drew novel in that old lady place. So, and this guy, the of Fisher, apologize for these interruptions. No idea why they are. So is that was from Fisher, this Austrian company that does the ski equipment, ended up hiring me for these ski poster for, and then we delivered the poster to myself with to do it so much that I actually think I'm the guy of the year, like the same kind of stuff. He's very much one basically, and the guy that who is it's comics when they're ready. I sell them, but no, but no, I cannot give you an exact time. Yeah, said to the guy. Estimate I gave him, you know, and but that's how it is, guys. I mean, I Floyd. I'm a bit, if I wanted to work for this industry, I probably, I would have studied harder. I would have more, and we will conversation right now. I'll probably not in this manner. I would be, a large cachet behind me. Oh, then again, I'm probably, know, this thing goes up. Yeah, I've always done what I wanted. I don't work for the man. I don't work for companies. I I do my own projects. That's that's what I like to do. Personal projects, and when he works, and when he does. I'm not really doing it for someone else. I'm doing, and that's what we got. So I don't really have to like to I don't like to this artists size uh just running here. Right. I just went to check my connection really because unfortunately, as you can probably see, the quality is not the best. And I always have price for this mobile connection, where are just flooded basically by people streets and they're going on time. I presume they are doing some breaking. I don't know. I'm playing, and it is companies in London is like in order to be able to big cities and in order to be able to fit everyone, they bring that pay a little bit more than the others, and obviously a lot more people can afford a lot more. So this keeps on breaking up. Obviously, as I was saying, I mean, my own stuff and a lot of freedom. With a few companies, I do my stuff, and for everyone does, there's always a there's always a crowd. Some really sure if that it's supposed to be more like dancing. This is mostly penciled in. I'm just going to kind of make lines a little bit. So now when I move in with the ink, will be a little. Just bear with me once a little bit. Yep. I think so. Yeah, the network is a little poor at the moment, and again, it should not be happening. Procrastinate That's the reason why I don't do, because if myself in that and I do have to deliver a product, deliver something at the right time, and as much as I would like to do that, I force myself to do it. So yeah, whatever. Yeah, like every would I? Yeah, what? And would I? I think so. I'm not. It's hard to show off to money. I don't give hires me. Really, I never did. A little group friend, and my first friends, which were myself, man, big dreams. Yeah, and the first dream did our own. It was our label, a publishing label, comic books label, back in the 80s when we were kids. We were very happy like that. We went prodded. We didn't went around, try to sell ourselves to. Uh, we just did our own stuff. That was it. There's another one supposed to be here. Yeah, and that is the experience I have with big companies. They were all a goddamn disappointment. Well, I guess I was unlucky, isn't it? There's always somebody else that is luckier than you. So grass is always greener on the other side. So okay, that's gotta be a bit tighter. So let's gotta go closer. So supposed to go there? I don't know. How am I looking at this helmet? So let's see. This goes here now, closer because it's kind of tilted. So this has to go here, and then you got this one here. It's got a big space there. Yeah, so it brings me to a topic. Yeah, it's rubbish. Brings me to the next topic, which is, precisely because I do my own stuff. It's not that I'm exempt from criticism, far from it. I mean, I do want to sell. I'm not doing this just for myself. And I'm not doing it for as a philanthropic reason. I'm not doing it for charity. I mean, would I like to be known worldwide? Yeah, I would. Who wouldn't? Would I like to get free dinners and free hotel rooms wherever I'll go? Yeah, I would. Why wouldn't I? But I'm not going to lose sleep about it. That's the thing. I wish. But yeah, that brings me to the topic. I mean, again, I'm not exempt from criticism, and I hear criticism. And I think a lot of times indie guys are unfairly judged because I think there is a, and this is what I wanted to address. Uh, I think there's an idea that the indie guy, precisely because he's indie, precisely because he's not doing something that is mainstream, he tends to be judged with the mainstream eyes. Like, I mean, your book looks like that, and like that doesn't say anything to me. It's an expression that a lot of people like to use, and that's perfectly fine. Of course, it doesn't have to say anything to you, man. I mean, it's not for you. Clearly, if you're not that sort of reader, it's not for you. But then comes something else is attached to that. Some more backlash is attached to that because I think the error is that the person that is viewing your work, your indie book, is kind of judging you with those mainstream eyes. Well, that's where the confusion is lays. It's not for that's perfectly fine, dude. It's not for you, but it was never for you from the beginning. that's that's the thing, I mean, it's not mainstream for a reason. It's indie for a reason. So obviously it's badly done. So yeah, I mean, it's not. So a lot of people take offense. Take offense that there's indie guys doing books which are, they're not their style, because their style is mainstream. That's what they like. That's what they buy. And again, that's perfectly fine. I like mainstream too. Why wouldn't I like mainstream? But I don't do mainstream. That's the thing, and now it's not an excuse. It's not to cover my ass, so to speak. I cannot draw like that, so I'm going to draw the way I can, and as an excuse, I'm going to call it indie. No, no, it's not that. Yes, I am a procrastinator. Yes, I should have learned more things than what I've learned. But what the mainstream artists have learned, they've learned it because they wanted to learn, and they wanted to do it like that. They wanted to work in that particular medium, in that particular industry. I didn't. That's a big difference. So it's not that I'm against it. No, it's not my thing. Because I was born as the son of a producer, of a guy that used to do commercials and for TV and cinema and all that, and I spent a lot of time going to sets and stuff like that, and people are vicious, I loaded those people, from his company, and I still hate a lot of those people and that behavior, the cynicism and the hypocrisy, it's disgusting. And it's not an environment I could ever work in, you know. Sorry, sometimes you gotta go around until you get the perspective right. This is a pain in the ass because the helmet has these spikes on it. The helmet is a odd shape helmet. Again, like I said, it's based on those some hats that they were popular back in the 1500s. It's because this is kind of a medieval kind of armor. It's kind of a mixture, really, and it's kind of difficult to nail this perspective here around the helmet. So yeah, but I never really wanted to work for the mainstream for those reasons. Again, would I be have been offered a job? I would have to say no. I'm not good at it. I don't want to disappoint people. I'm not gonna be able to keep a schedule. I'm not gonna be able to do what they want. I would have to do what would come up to me. And that's happened to a lot of guys, and I've never been as successful as to be hired by a studio or a label and have the pleasure or the benefit to disappoint them. But if I would have disappointed them because I would have done my own thing. And again, like I was saying, things like that has happened to a lot of independent artists and filmmakers and all that were hired by mainstream producers and mainstream houses, and then they ended up leaving the projects halfway through. artistic differences. And those are the artistic differences, It's like Edgar Wright, He was due to do the Marvel movie Ant Man, and in the end he didn't, and that was the reason. He's the guy. He's an indie guy. He's not gonna do your Ant Man movie, He's gonna do your Ant Man movie. He's white, so that's why they were actually going to do the Ant Man movie before the Iron Man movie. It was a completely different thing. It was not the Marvel shared universe. It was just an Ant Man movie. And the project was always going to be directed by Edgar Wright, and he left. And again, I'm not a big fan of Edgar Wright. I think he actually, for an indie guy, he tries to be too mainstream actually. But you gotta respect his position. I completely understand his position when he abandoned or they let him go the Ant Man movie. He was having exactly the same problem I always had. Me on a different scale, obviously. I don't work for the man. I don't work for the industry. So all you artists that you have your style of work, especially in the American market, you have that beautiful mainstream style. That's great, man. I like it. You know, just don't shit on my work, yeah. Because just because I don't do what you do, it doesn't mean it's inferior, yeah. It's different. It's a big difference there, yeah. And yeah, of course, yeah. There's certain things I do that could be better. I'm like the Kevin Smith of comics, the indie guy that I gotta say my books are never gonna be the best ones in the market. But again, it's not what you're looking for because you're probably looking at this as why. Well, this doesn't look like what I'm used to. As such, is X. Is crap. Is this? Is that? No, dude, it's not. It's just different. It's a different kind of thing. And if you got to do your homework, I mean, sure, you can be born in an environment like the USA environment, where you get used to this particular kind of books. Yeah, that's what you're born with. That's what you're raised with, and that's all you know. And if that's all I'm sorry a bit for you because there's a whole world out there with art, with amazing comics, graphic novels and all that. And you're missing out, yeah? You're missing out on a lot. And then not only that, you're making your view very constrained, You're kind of limiting what you believe is the norm to what you grown up with. And that's a mistake. I mean, that's a mistake I would never do. I give chances to everything around the world. If a guy has a chance, he goes around the world and he sees other forms of art and expression. You know, this is not liberal talk. I'm not trying to talk like an artsy fartsy kind of thing. I'm not the backpacker that goes around and sees the joys of Philippine woodwork and Chinese this and Australian that. No, I'm just saying, there's a whole world out there, man. It's not what you've grown up with, what you love, the mainstream that you like. That's only a part of it, man. It's only a part of it. It's not all of it. It's only a part of it. So you don't like something, that's fine. Just don't dismiss it as crap just because you presume that just because it doesn't fall into the criterion that you follow, you presume it's crap. Okay, man, you're entitled to think whatever you want. It's just you're not gonna get any friends from outside your shared space. That's for sure. You're not gonna get any friends like that, man. Your only friends are gonna be the guys that enjoy the stuff you enjoy. Well, I guess that's how it is for most people, isn't it? It's unfortunate, It's just you're closing yourself off to new ideas, and right, that's bigger than that, so that's a mistake. You see, we work like that. So yeah, so you don't want to become toxic, That's toxicity right there. Because any kind of gatekeeping what people should read or like, and there's a lot of people doing that right now. You don't really want to do that, do you? You don't want to be that guy, do you? You don't want to be the guy that he's kind of gatekeeping, isn't it? Just because you don't like it. Of course, you don't have to like it, man. Don't bash it, man. He's ugly. Why would you bash? Why would you bash? Don't bash it. You don't need to bash it. When you bash something you don't understand, you make yourself the smaller man, yeah? And then you just look unintelligent. You look like a brute. Don't bash it. There's a lot of things I don't understand. I don't go around bashing them, man. I don't go around bashing them. That's I was born in an environment where American comics were dismissed, yeah, as American propaganda, yeah. And thankfully, to guys like me, American comics managed to be in more places than the ones they should, yeah. Because a lot of people were not going to read them. But I always knew they had value, and I always sponsored them. I always bought them. But believe me, I was born in an environment where for me to be able to carry on and try to have sort of a career in comics, my own career in comics, I had to first make people understand what comics were. So a lot of guys, have already the benefit that they were already born in an environment where you don't have to explain that to people. Imagine that. Imagine that. To be born into a place that actually already has your back. Yeah? Already has 10% of your back is already covered. Yeah? Because they simply know what comics are. Yeah, well, I was born in an environment that they couldn't care less what comics were. Yeah? So first I had to make people understand. I had to make people believe. And then sell my own stuff. Then make my own stuff and sell it. Yeah? These guys like shiny eyes. Kind of, I think. I think they glow, I can remember. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about these face lines because really it's the armor that is my main concern. Just going to tighten things a little bit here. So yeah, imagine that, yeah? Imagine to be born in a place where you don't have any problems. First in trying make people understand what is the industry you want to work for. Or well, the industry you want to work in. What is the kind of work you want to do? It's an easier time, isn't it? I didn't have that facility. No, I had to go out and first try to change the culture of the place where I was born in. Yeah, not easy, dude. Try to change the culture of a country. Yeah, go on, try. See if you can. This guy's like supposed to be the perfect warrior. Nose like Brad Pitt. Yeah, so there's a whole world out there. It's so many things, yeah. And by the way, Chris Claremont is not British, yeah. Neither am I, by the way. Neither am I. Never been, never will be. Just happen to be living in London, yeah. He's got a smug face, this guy, like some people we know. By the way, I have big plans for this channel. I'm not gonna tell you all of my plans because there's a lot of competitors out there, and I don't want them to suddenly steal my address book, get my contacts, and start getting the people I'm looking for on their shows. But yeah, I'm having some big plans for this channel, and really take this channel one step up. I think there's a lot of market out there that is not exploited yet. Um, if I can do what I'm planning to do, we can have a lot of interesting shows here on this channel with me interviewing a lot of interesting people that will give plenty of hours of stream and pleasure to every viewer coming here. Hey, maybe actually, if it works out the way I'm hoping it will work out, hell, we might even have podcasts to be able to sell. Because I'm really pushing onto the Louis Michael show side of things of this channel. We're having the live streams with guests and other ideas that I'm working on. Again, the ideas I'm not going to really get into. These ears are quite funny. They're like this. So yeah, that's an advice for anyone I give. I mean, especially the American guys, the indie creators in the American market. I would suggest you to just keep doing what you like to do. Don't try and bend yourself to any norms and conventions so you can please the market. I mean, it's kind of a mute point because I don't want to say to people, well, you know, do what you like, and then you're just going to be starving artist for the rest of your life. No, I mean, do a brand, do something commercial. Yes, why not? There's no need for idealisms anymore. I'm not being a liberal here. I'm not a socialist either. I believe in capitalism, all right. I think you should have the best work you can do and try to sell it for the best price you can. Yes. Does that mean following a specific pattern and and just doing that for all the time? Well, again, unless you want to work for the big ones, yeah. Unless you want to work for the big man. I don't want to work for the big man. I never wanted to. Big man, as I said, the big man will come to me and give me a job. I said, thanks, but no thanks, dude. I don't need the pressure, man. Honestly, I don't. It's a lot of pressure, and I respect all the pros that work for those guys. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's real pressure. I don't want to do that. I never did. I will never want to. So for the indie creators, why, man? Why do you have to follow that brand? Why do you have to follow that specific trend? No, you don't need to. You don't need to. I'm not talking about aesthetics here. I mean, if you want to emulate the aesthetics of the market and just be that, okay, fine. You can still do that. You can still be an indie and do that, but don't go pushing that agenda on top of everyone else, dude. I mean, come on. You have some indie guys you have indie guys of all kinds, all shapes and sizes, yeah. And some indie guys are not going to want to do what is aesthetically the norm, what is aesthetically um, the plat du jour. They're not. They don't have to. And if you don't like their stuff, you don't like their stuff. That's it. But don't bash because there's nothing to bash there, dude. Bashing is juvenile. It's like being in a in the thing in the what is that place called? Oh, the playground. Yeah, that's right. In the kindergarten, in the high school. Now, haven't you grown up enough already out of that? No, you still living like that? Well, pity you, man. So criticize, don't bash. That's it. That's it. It's simple as that. As simple as that. There's all types of art, man. Yeah, art is subjective. Yes, it is. Should it obey to certain principles? Yes, certain art has to obey to certain principles to work. Mainly the commercial art. Yes, it has. Does that mean all indie creators to draw like I don't know Buscema? Since he was the gold standard for many years at Marvel, he was doing like 400 titles a month. And again, you're the specialist know more than me about American comics continuity. But yeah, I mean, Buscema was in a lot of. What was him and his dad or him and his brother? I can't remember, but it was more than one Buscema, yeah. But don't forget, Chris Claremont is not English, yeah. That's that one I know, yeah, because I know him personally. Yeah, so. All right, big neck here, and some more of this chainmail. Again, this is a very complicated armor, and that's why I want to get it a little bit tighter before moving on to the pen. So. Yeah, for all American viewers, there's a lot out there. Don't limit yourself to think that whatever is not American is only A or B. It's not. It's much broader than that. It's much, much more complicated than that. And if you want to talk about it, do a little bit of homework before actually saying something. It's just that it's a word of advice, because you're just gonna sound silly. Yeah? But some people specialize in behaving like morons. So, but yeah, there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there, and every time you kind of limiting yourself to a specific kind of aesthetics, well, you're missing out. You're missing out a lot. Okay, let's get these spikes done because they're annoying me. Okay, so there's something here that comes out. Which way does it come out? Does it go through or? Somebody give highlights to my armors. My colorists never get it. Never get the highlights, these guys. Clearly doing something wrong. So I'm gonna try and make this with less highlights than usual. So I'll leave it to the colorists really, because every time I do highlights, they never follow them. So. So let's talk. So it's not just me going over these lines, which you probably can't see because the image most likely keeps on breaking up. I'm just gonna have a look at the stream. Just give me a sec. Right. Well, sorry about the noise again. I was saying sorry all the time. So, yeah, I went to look. I went to have a look at the stream. It's behaving quite well, so I'm quite happy with it. Right. There's only something here that I don't know what it is. I did this armor on the fly, really, so I can't really remember. So it's got a little skull cap, chainmail skull cap, and his little head here overlaps the bottom of the helmet. Alright, so is this kind of working? I'm not sure if it is. No, that's too low, isn't it? I mean, it has to follow. What the hell? Sorry, guys. Oh, here it is. It has to follow that, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Should it be a bit rounder? I want every detail of this armor to be something special. No, I don't want this to just look like any other armor. But no, this has to overlap that way. Let's try a little bit rounder. So yeah, there's a lot of toxicity in the air. I mean, really appreciate what Zach, Richard C. Meyer, Diversity in Comics did. Quite very nice, very courageous thing to do, A guy that was an amateur artist, tried to have a go at it as a semi-pro writer, and then taking on the big guys in their own terms, and very successful. And obviously, a lot of industry professionals seeing that success and also becoming dissidents and trying their luck. And again, it has worked for them as well. And great thing, it has opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, which never had anything to do with comics in their lives, but it's just suddenly they just uh, started having careers. I mean, careers. So let's call them successes, right? Okay. So I'm very happy for all of them. Very good. Not so sure about the general environment though of that group, because it just became a bit of a, for what I can see online, it just became a little bit of a cult. Is it a cult? I don't know. Is that the right word? I don't know. Well, it definitely has overtones and undertones of a college frat. That it has. That's undeniable. I mean, the tone is really. At least coming from a guy that Jesus Christ, I'm the guy that used to put stink bombs inside the toilets back in high school. So so I know a little bit, a thing or two about college frats. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's the picture that this group of aspiring artists should be. I'm not really sure where this is going from. It's coming from here. I don't even know what it is. It's like a double-plated shoulder, I guess. So that's from here. I got the marks. So this came all the way around, and I guess it has to pass the the spikes here on the armor, I guess. And then where does he go? He goes down. He's repeating here on this side. So this spike is on this side. Okay, fine. This is the same as that. Why does this passes this one and not that one? So if I put it further back, it'll be further beyond the spikes. And I'm not putting spikes on that side. All right, so we have to avoid lines that kind of work against each other. So this has to be tilted this way. Okay. Yeah, very toxic, man. I mean, success is grown. It doesn't. Success cannot. You can't go to sleep one night thinking, "Oh, what a great guy I am. I'm so good at what I do, whatever that is." So tomorrow I wake up and I'm successful. It doesn't work like that, dude. I mean, specifically in this realm of the comic books, yeah. I mean, sure, you can be the aspiring writer, that has been doing his little script for 500 years or whatever, and you finally have your big break. Your big break of what? Just been hired by Marvel and DC to do what? To do one book that's gonna get canceled after 5 days? Or is it your Indiegogo thing? Which again, you know, Jesus Christ is gonna give you a lot of money. That's amazing, dude. I mean, wow. Honestly, I mean, overnight you get money in your pocket, man. Overnight, that's pretty cool. Does he make you a good writer? Well, first let's see how he reads, yeah. So yeah, this should be a little bit more concerned by some guys. Um, that once they have their crowdfunding complete, to make sure first of all they deliver on the product. Yeah, guys like Wanzer and Rob Liefeld and a bunch of other ones, they still haven't. They still there's people still waiting for them to fulfill their crowdfunders. So and for the newcomers, well, those guys are also newcomers, not Liefeld obviously, but for the newcomers from this latest movement of the one that Richard C. Meyer spurned, just be careful, man, because is it just the idea is just to make a one-off, grab some money and go? Okay, man, kudos to you. You did your job. You did something you wanted to do. You made money out of that. That's it. Yeah, maybe you've been trying to do it for 20 years. Obviously, why not? Why not? You want to build a career out of that? Well, listen. If you're gonna build a career with in a kind of a frat-like environment, well, like everyone else, you get old, yeah. Meaning your creative output gets tired, yeah. And eventually the frat is not a frat anymore. You're gonna be too old for that, and then well, just hope you use your money the right way, and you're able to amass a lot of it while you do all those crowd funds. Because if not, and if you're as toxic as some of these pros at Marvel and DC, the ones that are still trying to fulfill, or they're not even trying, they're not caring at all. Then be careful because you're not going to have many friends like that. If you don't have many friends, you're not going to have many consumers. So good luck, man. In other words, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Be nice. Always be nice. Again, the people are expecting you to deliver, so deliver and don't create enemies. Yeah. no idea what to do here, to be honest. Where is this going? Do I really need to put these little things here? So yeah, it's very sad. I've been seeing online all this fighting. It's very sad to see this. Well, let's call it again a group, a batch of creators coming online, doing these crowdfunding campaigns for comic books, and they all seem to be obviously related to one another because I follow the campaigns on and off, and then I see they all have a kind of a this social network groups in Facebook, and people obviously doing their campaigns. They have their web pages, their social media pages as well, and if you browse around enough, you notice that a lot of these campaigns are related to each other. They're connected. The people go to live streams of one another, like I'm doing my live streams as well, and I invite some people that I've seen in other live streams, and I've seen through Indiegogo and Indicron, very useful thing. So you see all these creators, and a lot of them seem to be working, kind of starting to work as a kind of a club kind of mentality, and that's a bit of a pity because it's, if they're kind of working, kind of networking in that close environment, again, that frat like environment, that club like environment, yeah, they kind of, I think, again, they're limiting themselves a little bit because, well, obviously in the back of their minds or in the front of their minds, there's always that, well, as long as I'm selling, I don't care. But, well, yeah, but is it a career you're trying to do? Because if it's a career and you want to do a sustainable model, well, you're not doing yourself any favors if you're just gonna. Because again, this I've been there. I've been part of the groups. Not these ones, but back in the days, yeah, when I was doing already my own thing, and we used to do our books, and we used to be part of this group of that guy, and that guy used to be part of our group and the other group, and yeah, we were in college, man. I mean, we were doing the comic books. We were, again, it was the frat like mentality. Is Well, if you're 20 and you're doing a comic book now, and you have your network in your own little group, and those are the guys that are going to buy your stuff, well, then, okay, fair enough. But actually going to go out there and you get lucky and you get a huge, massive crowd, which I've seen a few guys getting that. Awesome for you, dude. But is you really gonna keep that close-minded, frat-like club mentality? I I don't know, man. I mean, because look, eventually the soccer gonna want to buy you. Not the soccer moms, but if success is that big, then there will be more than just the people in your group buying the stuff. Yeah. So always remember the product has to be sustainable, and the only way the product is sustainable, just like the guys at Marvel don't get it, is if the creators are flexible. Yeah. If they're inflexible like the guys at Marvel, you're gonna get yourself into trouble, man. Okay, let's see if this works. So it goes that way, but then it pops at the end. So let's make this line a bit thicker here. Yeah, so bottom line, you never want to close yourself off, man. I mean, nothing good ever comes from a club-like mentality, man. I mean, have you not learned? Have we not learned from the mistakes of the big guys? Yeah, we have. Yeah. So why repeat the same mistakes? I don't get it. I really don't. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Why would you even want to? It's like myself. If I have people that don't like what I do, I don't get back at them. I don't give a damn. When you're an adult, you have to be able to control your emotions. If there's a kid in the playground that can't control his emotions, what is he? He's a bully. He's an idiot. Somebody does that to you, somebody behaves like that towards you, ignore them, man. That's what adults do. They ignore them, yeah? Because when you start pulling punches, you have to be careful because there'll be other people around you, and those other people can get hurt as well, yeah? Even though you had no intentions in principle to hurt them. And then where does that end? Yeah, well, it ends with you losing out. You're going to lose out in the end. Not the guy that got hit by mistake. He's only going to get one hit, and then he's going to recover from that. And the next day, he's not going to speak to you. That's it. But you, on the other hand, well, you're going to be in the principal's office, isn't it? That's no good, huh? Principal's office, I've been there. It's never good. Very annoying, very important. I was always caught doing a lot of stupid things, I'm afraid. So yeah, last thing you want to do is shunt people away. You don't shun people away. Okay, I don't know what to do with this thing here. I don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. I just don't know what to do with it. Let's arc this a little bit more. Yeah, success. Success can drive you crazy, man. I mean, don't go there. Be successful, just don't be a dick about it, yeah? Very sad. Oh, yeah, but I did it. Come on, man. Come on. Grow up, man. Grow up. You're just a pig, a bully, if you think like that, yeah? Very sad, yeah? So, right, so here on this channel, at the same time, we're gonna raise the bar a little bit, yeah? We're gonna concern ourselves more with slightly more eclectic stuff. Okay, I really can't understand what to do here. I put a question mark like that. And then we got his chest flight, yeah? Chest flight comes like this. Like that. And here's when it starts getting tricky, yeah? We got his spear. So the spear is a mallet, actually, retractable mallet. And he's got a sword on the other hand. And this has to be a little bit more sticking out a bit more. I used to do that, man. I used to do the networking of just friends and family. It never worked out. It never worked out for me. Well, first, my family, they never gave a crap about what I did. But it simply never worked out in a way that it was sustainable. So, yeah, by all means, have your little group, man. They support you and all that. It's great. Just don't rely on only that for immediate feedbacks. Gang-like mentality never works in the long run. Never. It never works. It never works in the long run. We know that from the SJWs, yeah? They devour themselves. They devour each other. That's exactly their mistake. You are falling prey of that now? Well, you're only important if you're relevant. Come on, man. Right, so we got this here, we got that there. Okay. Just going over these lines, to understand what to do with the inks. This has to go a little bit wider. This one is superior to that. Below it. So yeah, we have a lot of guests, which I'm planning on having on this channel. Hopefully, there will be people that everyone knows. Now, there will not be only communicators, yeah? Be a few of those, but not all of them. We're gonna invite them to roast them. Nah. I invite people to discuss their work, where I screen share stuff and plug any projects that they have going, and then talk about future projects. I'm interested to know where people came from, where their ideas from. That's what I'm interested in. So if you're an artist out there and you have a work coming out or already out and you want to talk about it, yeah, it'll be great to have you here. Um, but have something to say, yeah. Again, I see a lot of guys launching their books now and all that, and having incredible rate of success. It's wonderful, but you ask these guys to talk about their projects, and I can't really hear much. I mean, their mouths are moving, sound is coming out, but I'm not really seeing that they really understand their own projects. To be honest, and when you're pitching something, you might not be able to pitch it like me. I'm horrible at pitching my own stuff. I gotta admit that I'm the worst. I'm my own worst salesman. But at least I know what my stuff is. Sometimes I know it too much, and it's good to brush up on some sales like techniques. Pre-memorize a speech of some sort. One that is not too long. And again, I'm not the guy to give lessons on that, but I do know what needs to be done. I just don't like to do it because I every time I try to sell something, I sound like some a guy in the corner of the college of the school trying to sell some ecstasy or something, some dope or some mushrooms. I just fail miserably at it. Unfortunately, that's why I prefer to have people doing. If I could afford it, I would prefer to have people doing my own, selling my own stuff. I'm just bad at it. Why? Is it because it's too crappy? Well, not necessarily. I don't think it is. Could be a bit more polished here and there. Again, like I said in the beginning, you'd have to go to the beginning of the stream. I never wanted to work like that. I want to do it my own way. So this thing here is all these weapons of this guy, and all across his armor, there's a lot of crystals and stuff like that. Sometimes it's good to stay relevant. I mean, relevance is great because the more people that know you, the more your product is known and the more it is sold. But, a lot of times it also helps to be out of the fight. It helps, yeah. Meaning when you're irrelevant, people don't bug you, yeah. That's another reason I never wanted to work for any big company. And again, like I explained in the beginning of the stream, I did work for big companies, and I was thoroughly disappointed by the way I was treated. I mean, it was still back in the time that artists were still given crap by proper artists in proper companies. There were still crap place and crap treatment. And obviously, for any indie guy getting a gig, a commercial gig, well, then I would just get slaughtered. And unfortunately, yeah, I got slaughtered several times. Oh, I did other stuff actually. I was forgetting. I did also I used to do like pamphlets, art for pamphlets of. I remember doing one for a zoo, another one for the electric company. Every time they want a kind of a cheap comic book style, you cartoonish illustration. Somehow I used to get calls, to do these things. I was never paid for it. I mean, it was always more like, oh, you get exposure. And I think that was the thing. I became famous for being this idiot that used to do everything for free. I guess that was the thing. And unfortunately, yeah, I did too many of those until I finally couldn't be bothered anymore. I just never had any argument with anyone. I just couldn't be bothered anymore. What the hell am I doing this for? So yeah, I did a series of commercial works, and they never paid off. They never paid off. Never. Yeah, so up to this day, I still get a few guys DMing me, saying, I got a little script. Would you like to work on this? I'm sorry, man. I don't do other people's works, man. I'm sorry. I like so much to help people, but I don't do it. It's not something I do. I don't I don't work for anyone else. I do my own stuff. That's it. I have no problems with that. You got a problem with that? It's your problem. I'm trying to do a little bit of gothic quiche stuff. Gothic quiche. Not really sure what this is, but it's something. Okay, for now we do it better when we do the inks. So yeah, it's something I can tell my grandchildren. Look, yeah, I did something for Kellogg's, and I did something for those guys too. Now, the advice for everyone I give, I think I'm entitled to give some advice because look, I'm 44 years old this year, yeah, and I've been doing my own books, my own story, and I'm putting my name and face out there as the actual graphic artist, so to speak. I'm not just a guy writing some words and then hiring some artists and letting them do, taking half of the risk for me. No, I put my money where my mouth is. Yeah, speak. I do the art in my own stuff. So it's bad or good. It's up to you to judge. Yeah, but at least I went all the way. I went all the way. I didn't have anyone doing the work for me. I went all the way, and I take the whole fall. Something if something doesn't work, I'm not going to blame it on anyone else on the team. Yeah, because I written the story, I've done the lines, and in case it has colors by someone else, I still art directed those colors. I still said I want red here and green there. Can I have some gray here, maybe? No, I'm that guy. I've done the whole thing. Yeah, it's all my responsibility. So when it doesn't hold up, blame me, man. That's it. My pleasure. I know a lot of guys that indie guys, yeah, that have done something and then it didn't went according to their wishes, and they're saying, "Oh, if I had that artist instead of this one, okay, man, then don't do the project. Only do the project when you actually find the right artist. Don't do it without the right artist. Then they're trying to find anyone to blame. So now it works. It works. Places like Marvel, yeah, where the editor, whoever is responsible for the art team, that's his responsibility. Yeah? So if he screws up, yeah, that's someone you can point the finger to. It's not going to be the writer, unless the writer has chosen the team. I don't know how they do it, but I don't think they choose the team, the writer. Well, some specific series and contracts, maybe they give the writer a bit more control. If he's a famous writer, like a famous director gets final cut or something, but usually it doesn't work like that. So, all right, that's that. That's that. All right, we'll do now this. Just trying to make sure that the line weight is correct, because once I go on the inks, I want to go fast. So if I spend a whole day doing this, going over the pencils, making them tighter, then when I finally get to the inks, it's pa pa pa, I'm done. Another thing you shouldn't do as an indie creator is not only blame people in the rest of your team, because again, the team is your responsibility. The, the art direction, the way that you're directing the project is your responsibility. So if it doesn't work, you're the director, man. Blame yourself, yeah. Especially in an indie project, yeah, the director is the producer and the editor and all that crap. So if it doesn't work, another thing you shouldn't do is to presume that any other indie creator hasn't had the same amount of work you had. Never presume that. Chances are he probably had more work than what you had. Yeah, chances are. Yeah, I mean you've probably been slaving in your project for a long time, but so has the other guy. Okay, so this definitely goes here, like this, like that. And this is what? This is okay, so this closes here. And this now goes into like that. What's this? Right, so this is kind of a little orb. Like something holding the whole thing together. Not really sure what these things are. I think they're like supposed to be what would I call these things? I don't know. These ones are not crystals. He's got a series of crystals and gold spikes. The whole armor is like gold, basically. So it's gonna be painted gold, nice shiny gold, with some copper as well. Like gonna have green in it as well, like a wash. The gold got a wash as well of green, plated green or something. I don't know, something like that. So this is the bottom. Okay, so for line consistency, this one is thicker. This one is underneath. So it's pretty cool. This rubber. I used to use a same kind of rubber, but not in the actual. Not here. Let me see. Okay, so this goes here. Now we got another one of these things. Yeah, I never presumed then that the other indie author is a lazy ass, which knows nothing. Don't do that because he probably knows more than you. Yeah. So just because you have a successful book, especially if you just came out into the market, whichever way you got lucky. Because yeah, it's all about luck. It's not about talent. It's about luck. Yeah. Again, uh, a lot of guys will tell you this, but you can have the most wonderful book in the world. Yeah. If it's not well promoted, you're not gonna get anywhere. Yeah. Who's there? Ah, it's you. I don't know. This time is usually unusual. Usually, it's time to go back to work, isn't it? Yeah, I can see. What is that? Oh, okay. That happens to me all the time. First time? When he went out, I didn't want him to go out. He went out. I didn't want him to go out because he's sick, but he still went out. I believe he took his phone, as I expect he has, so you can call him now. So yeah, don't expect the other. Don't presume the other indie artist. It's just a piece of crap that has never, has no experience. There's a lot of pros that have worked actually for many years in the industry, and then they just give up. They just say, "This is not for me." I myself have changed industry 3 times, so from one different industry to the other. I'm at retail right now, so and be careful how you speak to people, yeah, because sometimes you get a cold slap across your face, yeah, because you're talking rubbish to people, and suddenly this guy tells you, you know what, you've been saying that all along, yeah, but you don't know that I have done this or I'm that guy, So just mind your tongue sometimes, respect that are in your creator. So I've seen lately a lot of these indie guys, coming out of nowhere, and just disrespecting talented people, and veterans, I mean, this goes for every side of the spectrum. Yeah, it goes for the wimps and the at Marvel and DC, the diversity hires they have there. Again, they're guys coming out of nowhere. They're given book contracts and all that. And it also goes for the other indies, the ones that in crowdfunding and stuff like that. Be careful. Treat everyone with respect. Yeah. And if respect is not given, then yes, then if you want, you can speak back. But then you just sound like an SJW, you just sound like a Mark White or something, or a CB Sobolski or something. You're just gonna sound like that. And if you want to be better than them, you want to be bigger than them, just don't engage. Just don't engage. Just ignore. What is that? Oh, okay. You don't need to engage all the time. Okay, this is an important bit because armor has to be. Where is it going to be less deep on the relief? It's going to be here, closer to the end of the chest, or at the top, where it curves and becomes tighter. It's going to be here, isn't it? Yeah. So this is where the relief is a bit thinner. Sorry, a bit wider. So that comes over from there to here. There's a connection here. So yeah, so lately I've been seeing a lot of these folks that just came out of nowhere, and they're without any proven talent. That's the thing that's slightly disconcerting and slightly annoying. Without any proven talent of any sort, just because some guys are vouching for them, they suddenly are entitled. They suddenly think, well, I can say, eat piece and shit, and pardon my French, to whoever I want because A, made money, B, this guy knows me. I mean, dude, come on. Don't be like that, man. Come on. Are you what? You're 10-year old? You're a 10-year old? Well, if you're a 10-year old, you shouldn't be making that much money. It's illegal, yeah? Mind you, I was 10 when my dad took my characters and used them for a book. Actually, he never paid me money from that. So there you go. There's another nugget uh, information. You should always treat everyone with respect. Always. I mean, come on. How many times you need to hear that until you understand that you have to control your pulse, yeah? Not to jump to attacks, yeah? Just control yourself. No matter who you are, control yourself, dude. Come on. Dude, come on. What is this, man? You're 10. You're back in the playground. Well, you did it to me, so I'm gonna do it to him. What the hell, dude? Come on. What is this? What is this rubbish? You're a child? Well, you are a child if you think like that. It's a cool armor, isn't it? I bet one of you guys is gonna copy it. Yeah? You're gonna straight away, you're gonna put it in your book, and because you guys are pros, you're gonna be able to do this much faster than I'm doing. And by the time I'm finally finished with this part, you already released an entire book of guys with these armors, isn't it? Isn't it? It is, isn't it? Okay. All right. Let me just check something. Another little book. Things are heavy. Okay, we gotta speed this up a bit. Okay. Right. Center here. Go over these lines. Should know what I'm doing because I always swap hand because you're gonna make a hole in the paper if you're holding a pencil like that over the rubber. Is that correct? It's kind of correct, isn't it? It's not very correct, it's just kind of correct. The Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg. Can't wait for the next video. Very funny. Finally, someone doing entertainment. Oh, that's wrong, isn't it? Why didn't no one tell me? Come on, guys, you expect me to do everything? Nobody tells me when something is incorrect? What are you doing here? You gotta tell me when something is incorrect, isn't it? You have a phone right there. What is it? Opposite. Very good. Okay. Oh man, this microphone makes so much noise. I do apologize for that, like for everything else. I apologize for the invasion of Burma. I apologize for the Titanic incident. I apologize, okay? I apologize. I don't have half a million dollars, but I still apologize 3 times. Blitzkrieg. I like that word. Blitzkrieg. Where did I hear that? I heard it somewhere. Okay. Let's make some lines here, yeah, Miguel? Come on, Luis, make some lines here, yeah? So as I was saying, never take for granted the work that the people have done towards their projects, because first of all, you never know when one of them can be optioned for a movie and actually make the movie. So be careful, yeah. Don't be sniding on people's work, just like that, yeah. But yeah, I mean the guy next to you probably work as much or more than what you did. So don't judge. Don't judge work and people behind work just just like that, like a snap of the fingers. Yeah, every project, project is not just a labor of love, but it's also a time-consuming and energy-demanding little something, or big something. So be careful when judging people. Don't be so fast. No, it's supposed to overlap that there. It is there. Never assume your idea is the best idea on the block. Yeah, always strive to make it the best, the most original, the most efficient story. But never assume you got the best idea. That's not to say you should undersell yourself. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't believe. You should believe you have a great. Just don't presume you're the only idea in the block. Yeah, because I tell you why. I tell you why. Very easy reason why. Yeah, when you find out the idea coming right behind you is actually better than yours, in one of those oh, I should have thought of that moments. Well, that's the moment your ass falls in the floor straight away. Straight away. You demotivate yourself, even without even anyone touching you or criticizing your work. When you have one of those, oh, I should have thought of that moments. So build up your brand. Just don't convince yourself you're the hottest item in town. Yeah, never do that in indie comics. Never, never. That's what indie comics are about. So there's a big distinction there. You're probably thinking more in the more competitive, market of the big companies. The big two or three or whatever. That's not the main. Indie comics are not the mainstream comics. Yeah. So it's not about. It shouldn't be about rivalries. It shouldn't be about. It should be almost like a hippie fest. A cool hippie party. That's like Bob Ross as the host. That's what indie comics are, man. If uh, if you're thinking there's something else, man, well, you're being fed the wrong idea, man. You got the wrong picture. That's not what it is. So if you're thinking that an alternative to the mainstream, no, it's not what it is, man. Like could be a commercial alternative for whoever is buying the product, but for the creators involved, no, for the creators involved, man, it shouldn't be that. It's not what it is, man. It's not what it is. Duh. That's a big mistake here. Again, nobody's telling me these mistakes, man. I gotta find these things by myself. Goddamn. Yeah, I say goddamn it. They promised me that. I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm not preoccupied with that as certain other people. I'm from a Catholic country, by the way. 98% of Catholic people, and but here I am, a non-Catholic. Here I am, a non-Catholic. So okay, this is white there. So it's practically the same thing, isn't it? Smell from that thing comes all the way here. Sorry, I'm having some problems with pipes. Um, no need for grass jokes. So yeah, I mean, again, theme of the day is don't be an ass towards other indie creators. Just don't. Don't do it. Just he's only gonna bring you misery. Believe me, I've been there. You made some sales. You think yourself you're a big hot shot? Nah, that's not how it works, mate. That's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. You gotta take it easy. Don't be an arrogant. Don't be an arrogant dick. Well, anyway, I don't want to carry on saying these words because then I'm just gonna get a copyright strike because these words are copyrighted. Something like this, isn't it? So, where is Daredevil season 3 is gonna be? Now that it's not on Netflix anymore. I was just about to start that, man. I like Daredevil. It's a good series. Where is it gonna be now? So is it Disney streaming service? I don't get that here. I think we're gonna get that here in London. There's another thing your Americans are gonna get that we're not gonna get. Or we're gonna get it, but it's like in Amazon or something, like for 3 times the cost of whatever you pay for it. Yeah, typical. The great benefits of living in Europe, yeah. Man, this armor is a pain. So these button sizes have to be in perspective to each other. Another thing is, I've seen a lot of people getting in touch with some people here and see if they want to come over to the streams. Always a pleasure to have other people. You get to talk a little bit. Comic books is a lonely, lonely activity. If you're writing, you gotta write by yourself, unless you have a team of writers. And if you're the artist, well, you're definitely doing it by yourself. And it's nice to have people once in a while over. If you have them over your streams, at least is one way. I see a lot of people saying, "I don't want to go on streams. I'm very shy about it." Okay, fine, man. Fair enough. Not everything is for everyone, but the problem is, dude, if you're trying to sell something, well, maybe you should shave some of that shyness away. I definitely don't. I'm definitely not shy. On the contrary, I end up screwing up my sales, my pitches because I speak too much. So, man, you have to be able to speak a little bit, about your stuff, yeah. So I see a lot of creators, a lot of indie creators, not being a little bit um, wary of doing something to promote their work. I find that a bit strange, to be honest. I find that a little bit concerning. I don't understand that philosophy. I mean, surely if you really believe your product, you should be willing to crack it out of the park, man. To be honest, I don't really understand why you would not give yourself a chance to sell something in case you have that chance. Well, to each his own, but well, if in the end of a campaign or a launch, you you haven't done what you expected to do, well, if you were offered the opportunity of going into live streams and you said no, okay, all right. I generally not offered anything. I got to go in there and beg for it. So good luck with your science, man. Good luck with that. You never say no to something that is being given you. That is a principle. You don't like his face? Well, expand your horizons, yeah? You only like what you already seen. Let's go to the stomach now. By the way, I am planning on giving an art giveaway next month. Commemorate my little birthday. I'll be giving away a present. So the idea is for all the subscribers I have. I will obviously advertise this a little bit more on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Put it on the descriptions under the videos. So it'll be an art giveaway. I will be sorry, some commotion outside. I'll be giving away a print of one of the posters made for chromosome 96, and it will be one not by me, actually, made by a good friend of mine, Luis Figueiredo, another Portuguese man. And what is that? That's supposed to be there? That's not supposed to be there, is it? Well, let's see how it is on this side, and then I'll find out what is that. And yeah, it's one of the posters. It's a poster he made for me some time ago. I asked him to do it. It's supposed to work as a cover for the trade paperback when finally the whole book is finished, and I'll decide to release a collected series. Hopefully we'll get there. Not sure if we will, but hopefully we will. And that is a small print. It's a kind of an A4 kind of thing. So for anyone that is a subscriber of this channel, will have a chance to get a print. How do you actually see a list of subscribers on YouTube? You can't you? It's impossible. There's no way to see that. You cannot see every single subscriber that you have, I think. So how do the guys that run YouTube channels, when they give giveaways to their subscribers, how do they do it? If anybody knows, you can tell me in the comments. So I'll be posting this question later on Twitter as well. Okay, so this is actually a middle piece, and then it has the bottom one. So it should be like this. Yeah, that's probably this. Let's fix that. It's actually her store. It's cheaper, hey? Yes. Now I understand what it is. There's no difference. Yes. See, this is why I gotta tighten the pencils. You see, and what I thought it was, it wasn't. She should be right here. This one, there's something there. So I want to make any sections of his armor weak. Everything about him has to be powerful. It has to spell power, dominion, sex machine. We're work around these things here. Right, about all that thing that I spoke about in the first hour of the stream, almost up until recently, to be honest. Yeah, it's something that I can see if you guys could take a few notes. I've seen a lot of guys acting very weird, very childish, like these last few weeks, getting increasingly worse by the hour. And too much negativity, first of all. I'm actually tuning off from a lot of channels that I used to follow. I will not. I will not care anymore. I will still follow them. You know, I'm not giving them anything from my pocket. Uh, I'm not though giving them any allegiance. It's just that I follow because sometimes I check it out. But most of these channels, mostly by the people of comics way, to be honest, I've lost interest. I've lost interest. I'll still prefer to watch Zach, which was the person that I started mentioning here on this stream. But I've lost interest in most of the guys. They're just doubling down on information every day. Something happens, they go straight away shouting to mommy, and then one does a video of one thing, and the other one does exactly the same video about exactly the same thing, and it's just that's it. It's this formula. This formula that is obviously giving a lot of money, and why not? Obviously, it's just that. It's just well, these channels are very young. You know, this YouTube business is a big business already. It's a complex thing. Uh, these guys that have channels for a long time, they know how to grow an audience, and it's not that easy, And the most important thing is to keep that audience, to retain that audience. And all these channels that are just jumping on the bandwagon of making noise and throwing insults either at the left or the right. Obviously, they're going up now because again, that's the flavor of the month. Don't forget. And then some of them have already started diversifying because they obviously know that what they're doing is very tiresome, both for them and for the people listening to them. And then they know it's not going to last forever, so they already start diversifying. But again, if you're not very talented, it doesn't matter how many streams you make about games and conversational topics of whatever kind, STDs or whatever. You still not. You're probably not going to get that many viewers, man. And you probably, eventually whatever you got to offer, unless you're really good at it, you got to be born to do it. You got to be born to be a streamer, to be a radio host. If you're doing it because out of necessity, do you think? Has this occurred to you? Do you think that's going to be a bread and butter? You think you're going to make a career out of that? Oh, I mean, momentarily you are gaining subs and you are doing okay because you harped on an issue that is momentarily again has people interested in it. When the party's over, which we will, what you gonna have? Again, you cannot just be thinking about streaming about games and thinking that you can relocate that same audience that was listening to your controversial topic of the day, and translate that audience to go and listen you talking about fantasy football or whatever. That's not how it works. Yeah. Again, that crowd might be there for a while, but if you're not actually that good at doing that, it's not a real passion project. Like it could be, and if it is, all the best. And maybe there's many years still left in the pond. But my point is, and this is what I've always done. This is what I've always strived to do. I strive to do a quality product, a product that I can sell, a product that I can sell not once, not twice, but if people revisit it 10 years later, it will still be sellable. Listen, I've done stuff in the '90s that was black and white or grayscale. I released it, I sold it, and up to this day, I get people from way back asking me, "Oh man, can I have a copy of that book that I read back in 1998?" Well, sorry, man. I probably don't even have the originals anymore. That's out of print, basically. You can read my copy if you want. That's what it means to do a product that will be spared the test of time. The quick buck is always something that never works. Never works. Okay, sorry guys, I need to interrupt this again. Sorry, So yeah, in terms of creative minds, when you're a limited person, you can only do one or of two things. I mean, it's gonna be a long, steep climb. Yeah. I mean, I used to diversify a lot. When I was still a kid. I used to do my comics. Then I had my own radio station. We used to radio station. We used to do pirate radio, and I wrote novels. Then I went into catering. Then I went to retail. So I always did new things. Kept myself always busy. One thing would fail, I would have something else to rely on. Yeah. Well, guys, I managed to erase all the lines that were underneath. So now it's becoming even more difficult to see the lines that I wanted to tighten up. I think I'm gonna call it a day before I make any more destruction. Yeah, it was great. Hope you enjoyed most of it. I think we're more than 2 hours and a half, so it's pretty much the usual maximum I want to take these things for. I would like to take more, but only if I would be inking it, and then it would be a bit more fun. As it is now, I think we're okay for today. So, all right, thank you very much for tuning in, and hope to see you very soon. Okay.